This is him posing during his show. This is where he calls Glenn Beck trash for slamming his Piers Morgan interview. The nerve. Conservative radio show started a petition to deport Morgan, appeared on current TV to respond to Beck calling him a fascist. That's got to hurt. And I thought we were the one. Glenn Beck is despicable, Jones said on current TV's The Young Turks Monday. I'm sick or tired of him. He's a punk. Oh, so the Young Turks had him on when they were on Current as a guest to shit talk Glenn Beck? Hang on. Wait.
I interviewed Alex Jones on our Current show, and on that show we showed a bunch of clips of his comments about Glenn Beck, who he called just about every bad word there is, and that was fun. And he talked about Jon Stewart and Piers Morgan, etc. But I also asked him about, and what I cared more about, was his core philosophy. So he believes in a lot of these different conspiracy theories. Is there one theory that unites them all? Well, let's begin that part of the conversation. But is there an overarching theme to all these conspiracy theories? What do you think is happening in the world?
Yeah, tell us all. Let me give you an open mic, Alex Jones.
It's not my opinion. There are hundreds of books written by the top technocrats in the last 60 or 70 years.
Yeah, I remember reading one particularly about how Skype was created by DARPA so that they could lull people into a false sense of security about video streaming so that they would eventually... Jesus Christ!
Saying they wanted to design a global technocratic...
Global.
Scientific dictatorship.
A scientific dictatorship. It's all... we're going to have an AI suppository that will run the world.
Because the general public are a bunch of animals, and we need to be dumbed down, corralled, and then finally phased out.
And that's your job. And you took that, so basically you're filing a trademark case against them, a copyright issue.
And Bill Joy, back 12 years ago, wrote for Wired magazine that the future doesn't need us, and talked about going to a tech conference with other billionaires where they discussed, do we keep humans around and entertain them, or do we just go ahead and get rid of the majority of the population? And he concluded...
I'm so glad that Cenk is interrupting and pushing back and fighting this kind of nonsense.
Majority of them wanted to get rid of the...
Yes, Shiny. Beyonce says girls run the world, but there's not actually. It's It's a girl. It's one, and unfortunately for the rest of us, she's a mean girl. It's Nellie Olson. I'm sorry to tell you, Nellie Olson runs the world. We're all fucked.
General population, and so he was writing this article.
By the way, look at the background. First of all, there's the website, so you got to sell. Then there's this fucking skull with the all-seeing eye dollar thing on it, and a fucking globe, and then the on-air sign that he bought at a yard sale.
People saying, hey, there's discussions about whether we're just going to kill all of you. And the public said, okay, go ahead and kill us.
I remember that. You guys remember that vote, don't you?
Because they just can't imagine that the establishment is this evil. Look. We're
Alex,
becoming an authoritarian country. We're losing our liberties. The NDAA, the warrantless wiretapping, the GMO, all of it. We're
the GMO
entering a dystopic nightmare, and I yell and scream to try to get people out of their trance.
Oh, there you go. That goes to the yelling and screaming part. God damn. Time ain't on your side. No, it ain't.
That's why I do that on purpose, is to get people out of the trance they're under.
Of course!
You talk about some of the same things on this show, and I think...
Oh my fucking God, what?
That's why some of our viewers are the same, some. We talk about the NDAA and the warrantless wiretapping. Now, he's right about that. Those are egregious violations of the United States Constitution, and that is the government grabbing too much power. But, as I tell you, we have significant disagreements. And I was really glad to have that conversation because...
Yeah, to have a soft landing between me and Alex so that we could keep some of our audience and understand that we don't really have a problem with him.
Something fruitful always comes out of a conversation where you respect each other and you...
Yeah, that's and what's not to respect about a guy who in a about 2 years, will start saying that the Sandy Hook children don't exist, never did.
Talk about it, but it doesn't mean that you agree. I mean, when Alex started talking about how billionaires were going to get rid of the majority of the population, they had gotten together and they were going to phase us out. You know, I've said it to him. I've said it before on the show. I'm going to go on his radio show next week and I'll tell him there too. I think that's crazy. There's no secret plan to kill a majority of the people in the world because the billionaires don't want to kill us. They just want to be billionaires. Do the billionaires set the rules to their advantage? Of course they do. And should we fight back against that? Of course we should. Why would we allow them to buy our politicians and set the rules against us so that we don't have an opportunity? Of course we shouldn't do that. But it doesn't mean that there's secretly bloodsuckers from
Wait a minute. By the way, why is he telling us this in this segment? If he said that to Alex, why not show that?
Venus and they want to
Does he do it?
Destroy billions of people. That's crazy. I'm sorry I keep using that word, but it's true. At least it's what I see is true. But Alex continues.
These are
Oh, so basically he's pushing back on their other show, but not in the actual interview when it happens, I suppose.
170 IQ, top scientist, hired by the old robber baron families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all of them, on record, those old names. You can look up 10 years ago, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers merged their corporate businesses.
Yeah, it was it was sort of like two Jewish subsidiaries in the Illuminati just decided, we might build something together.
Last year, they merged their family businesses.
Look at this fucking syringe that just appears on the screen behind him. Where'd the skull go?
People are like, "Oh, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, ha ha ha."
Yes, I that's what I was thinking in my head.
These are the families funding all these major world governments.
And Colonel Sanders before he went tits up. One moment. Maybe it's here.
Well, it's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim, that there's a secret society of the five in the world known as the Pentaverate, who run everything in the world, including the newspapers, and meet tri-annually at a secret country mansion in Colorado known as the Meadows.
So who's in this Pentaverate?
The Queen, the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up.
All right, hold on. Hold on. It pauses. Yeah, somehow that plays through there, but it doesn't play back through that part. Maybe, hold on. Perform properties, this kind of thing. And then we go down to this business. And we go to monitor. Monitor. Let's about turn that off. There we go. And we turn this to here. And then we turn this back up. And I think this will work, hopefully. Hold on one second.
I'm rich and I'm dead
Nope.
sexy.
Why would that not work? All right, we'll figure it out later. I don't know if there's a weird loop in this. It makes no sense to me. Maybe, how about this? This guy? Let me try it on here.
I'm rich and I'm dead sexy.
It's like tripled. All right, I'll figure it out. There's an odd audio loop on there. Anyways, it's fine. You guys, I would like to be able to hear it a little bit, and I can't for some reason. It's very strange. There you go. We turn this off. Dink. Maybe that'll do it. Call me Snake. All right. I'll figure that part of it out. There's a weird doubling of the audio on here for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why, but we'll figure it out. Okay. Where were we? Oh, yes. Cenk was interviewing Alex Jones and giving him a platform and going,
Government moves. These are the people funding global zoning under Agenda 21 that is designed to make it impossible to be middle class. They want you poor and controlled. And I've read all.
This is 2013. Just so you know, The entire government is obviously in on this whole thing, but Joe Biden's obviously the worst super commie. And, oh, shit. So here's 2012. This is when they were going to destroy the middle class right here. It's further back. Where is it? Yeah, this is about the time they're interviewing him. Brap. It's the total decimation of the middle class. None of these people have cell phones even.
Their writings. And I'm upset by it because it's a public manifesto of ultra-Hitlerian evil.
Ultra-Hitlerian. Excuse me, that's uber-Hitlerian. Okay?
That the globalists are pushing.
You want to know what the conspiracy is? It's right out in the open. It's campaign finance. So ExxonMobil, do they control our government? Of course they do. They pour in hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, over 10 years, they put in over $1 billion in lobbying. They give direct contributions to politicians, and then they also hire all the ex-politicians. They hire the lobbyists, etc. And what do they get in return?
They get. They have the only product that drives cars at the time.
Return on investment. They get at least $14 billion, the oil industry does overall, per year in oil subsidies.
Right, because it's an economic subsidy for the entire economy. And by the way, this is like right as shale oil was taking off.
Plus, they get some of our land in the Gulf Coast for free when it's our oil, and they should pay us a royalty on it. So they set the rule.
Well, the Gulf Coast stuff, if you're out into international waters, we wouldn't. But let's see. Hold on one second. Just. Oh, Cenk's not going to like this one. Old Cenk or new Cenk? Or new old Cenk? April 16th, 2022. Biden increases oil royalty rate and scales back lease sales on federal lands. The current rate is, there it is. Royalty rate for oil produced from federal reserves in deep waters in the Gulf of Mexico is 18.75%. In the November auction that was later canceled, energy companies including Shell, BP, Chevron, ExxonMobil offered a combined $192 million for offshore drilling rights in the Gulf. New leases that are developed could keep producing crude long past 2030 when Biden has set a goal to lower greenhouse gas emissions by at least 50%. Compared with 2005 levels, we now know that the bill they passed will hit 40%, and that doesn't even include the other shit we're doing. Economists say a higher royalty rate would have a relatively small effect on global emissions because any reductions in oil and gas from federal lands would largely be offset by fuel from other sources. Not the point. We can use that money to fix things. But just so you know, remember, this guy told you about a week ago that Democrats are bastards, was the quote. Probably because he was mad that the PACT Act was getting passed with 100% Democratic votes and that Manchin had just struck a deal and that right-wing judge in Eastern Kentucky that never happened was going to happen.
Rules to their advantage in 100 different ways. Those are out in the open. Everybody admits from multiple. No, I think we're United Nations.
Where the fuck? Bring back Alex, because you were interviewing this fuckhead. You don't get to talk back the shit here. This isn't look at this. Alex Jones TYT interview, The Highlights is the title of this video in 2013. The highlights, you're just doing apologies for what you didn't say to him when he was on the air.
21. It isn't true. It isn't factual. Alex continues.
I know this. This world government is being deployed. It's being set up. It's fundamentally anti-human. The controllers think that humans are a disease.
They are humans themselves, I presume.
Overpopulated, we're dumb, we're stupid. They see themselves as another species in all their literature, and that they've romanticized this new world after we've been forced culled, and then a remnant of the general population will be left in kind of an
in a pleasure farm, obviously, and that's what he's upset about, is that only those of us that keep up with our like I'm hoping to be a sex slave in the New World Order. I mean, who isn't? Why do you think I'm working out so hard? I just want to, I want when they're going down the line of people that they're going to kick into the great abyss, that they go, ooh, tasty, keep him. You know what I mean? Anything to give me a toehold.
An agrarian loincloth type setup. And
sexy.
And they will be in the high-tech
This is just the time machine. What a fucking dipshit. All right, anyways. I was on, you'll have to ask Cenk. I don't remember what I said.